Welcome back to the channel, good friends. Brian from Apex Auction Car Reconditioning. As you can see, I have the furry shop manager as usual, and we're back to work on the Porsche Carrera 1998. And we're going to pick up where we left off. We're going to start getting some things together, doing some minor assembly, start to get into the paint correction finally. How about that? Let's get to work. Paint protection film on the front clip here, and we're going to let it dry out a little bit more before we start reassembling things. You can see why we had it apart. We could really get the film tucked in here behind the line of the driving lights and the parking lights and the bumperette and hide the fact that it has film at all. That's really kind of the object, and it gave us some time and some room to clean behind there. It was dirty behind the lights, the parking lights, the headlights, so we freshened that area up. There's not a ton of patterns available for these older cars anyway, so we did custom or bulk installation where we did the cutting and trimming. The shop manager not very enthused, but we got to keep on going nonetheless. So when the film finally does dry out enough, then we can start to put things together, and we'll slide these headlights back in. We did put new lenses, so nice and crystal clear, and we just slide those in. It attaches itself inside the fender and fender well, and then you just pull up a latch to lock it in, and it's not going to go anywhere. Looks great. Great decision by the owner to get the new lenses and pick up the new driving lights, parking lights. Altogether, you throw everything together and it just makes the whole vehicle look freshened up once again. Same thing with the passenger side headlight. Just slide it on in with the new lens. Putting these two lights right next to each other, you could see how these materials yellow from the sun's harmful rays. So it just freshens up the look to get new ones. So we're going to install the two lights on either side, the bumperette, and we need to get the badge emblem on the hood as well. And finally, like the cherry on top, this shiny new badge for the hood. And the front end is pretty much reassembled. Let's take a look. Flip the lights on, make sure everything works as it should. All right, let's move to the back of the vehicle. I can't get things together quite so fast as the front's protected, but the back isn't protected. We need to polish first. This is where the badge was, so this is kind of the damage that we're going to be going after. We need to find a combination of polisher pad and correction fluid that'll take care of that without removing a ton of clear coat. This does have clear coat. This is right on the edge when they were transitioning from single stage to clear. We're going to go with 3D1. This is a one-step with the diminishing abrasive, alpha alumina abrasive, and we'll use the 50/50 pad to go with that. Should be a perfect combination. We'll see if that is too aggressive, or it leaves a lot of haziness, or maybe just not aggressive enough. This should be, this age of Porsche, the clear should be medium, maybe leaning a little towards hard. If the paint acts anywhere near like the Targa version of this that this owner has, 2 passes. Crisscross pattern, left to right, then up and down, and I grab my edgeless, soft wiping pads for the correction fluids or the polish oils. We'll wipe off the residue, take a look, and that, I'm hoping that does the trick. Nice and bright and white, but let's grab the correction light. And as you can see, we did remove a lot of that, and this looks really, really good. I will be following up with something that will lay a little bit of acrylic down on top of this and add a little bit more pop and finish it up and jewel this paint as well. There's another area that I need to do some testing before we start to tape up this vehicle. And that is on the quarter panel where we removed the paint protection film that was in the shape of a shark fin. And there is quite a bit of a difference because that PPF blocked the sun and kept it from yellowing in those areas. And now we have to do some blending, get rid of those lines, and see if we can polish off the yellow, see how deep we can go with it. I will do some taping first. I don't want to get any polish on the convertible top or any plastic trim or seals or rubber grommets. So that's just something precautionary that I like to do. Now you can see the difference. I'm going to take you in, and you'll see the distinct line where the paint protection film was protecting the flare of the fender flare and where it wasn't. We need to kind of get rid of that fine line. We may not be able to remove all of the yellowing. We may not be able to go that deep. It may be in the color layer under the clear, but we're going to do our best. Just like when you're using the rotary polisher, if you're in a curved area and you have the flat, backing plate, you're going to have to tilt the polisher to get the shape of the pad in the recess of the curves, if that makes sense, so you can get a nice even cut. If not, you may not even be able to reach what you're trying to polish. Even though a little bit better, we have to dig a little bit deeper to get some of that yellowed clear removed. It may be deep enough where we can't reach it if it's in the color layer. The AAT 501 from 3D, the adaptive abrasive technology, and the Udos wool pad, it's a shorter wool, may be aggressive enough, but we can only go so far. After that pass, we made a little bit better. We've done a better job at blurring the line between the two areas, but after doing some measurements, we're getting to the low 4s when it comes to 4 mils or under. That is getting too thin. This is the driver's side. Let's go over to the passenger side where I made a couple more passes, and we have made the line between the two areas a little bit less distinctive, I guess, or stand out a little bit less. But we're at a point where we can't go any deeper. And we do need to lay down paint protection film on top of that flare, or it will get beat up with rock chips from the front tires spitting them up. The shop manager agrees we need to stop there. We can't go any deeper with that clear. All right, guys, that's going to do it for this video. If you have any questions or concerns, down in the comments section. This was meant to be a 3-part series, but I'm going to push that into 4 parts. Just to keep the length of these videos down a little bit so they don't get, if you don't get bored. A lot of work going into this. And the yellowing of the paint around, especially around the shark fins on the quarter panel, really has slowed me down because I have to take my time and keep track of the rest. Everything from here forward covered with paint protection film. But from there back, I have to really watch what I'm doing when it comes to correction and shaving that top layer. I don't want to go too deep. Especially if it gets the clear coat or the top layer too thin to do its job, and that is to guard and protect the color coat when it's out in the elements. Yes, this thing is a garage queen, and it's mostly going to be kept there, and it's low mileage, but when it's taken out into the sunlight, a hot day, maybe taken to a show, you want that clear coat there, and then the paint protection film on top, and then the polysiloxane coating on top of that, protecting the gorgeous glacier or snow white. That paint has 2 names to it depending on the year. You want it to look gorgeous, so we're going to keep it looking that way without putting the color coat in jeopardy. Brian from Apex Auction Car Reconditioning, I'll catch you in the next video.